Hello, everyone. I'm Tiana S, reporting for Kids First, and today I am speaking with Mr. Craig Schultz and Mr. Raymond S. Persi. Mr. Schultz is the son of the legendary creator of the Peanuts franchise, Mr. Charles Schultz, and is known for his work on the Peanuts movie and the Snoopy Show. You may recognize Mr. Persi for his work on The Simpsons, Zootopia, Frozen, and the Wreck-It Ralph franchise, among many other animated projects. Their latest project, Snoopy Presents One-of-a-Kind Marcie, is headed our way, and they are joining me to discuss this one-of-a-kind feature today. How are you both today?
Great. How you doing?
Doing well.
I'm doing good. Super excited to speak with you about this production. I absolutely loved it. And as you can see from this production, Marcie is not just Peppermint Patty's sidekick anymore. In the film, we learn more about Marcie and who she is as an introvert, just being her brilliant and infamous self. So, Mr. Schultz, what was the inspiration for making a film centered around Marcie and her being introverted?
Really, it came from watching the movie Hidden Figures. That movie, as you know, tells a story about the people behind the Apollo program and what they brought to the forefront. And we started thinking of what we would do with a Marcie special. And we thought, what better character in the Peanuts group to represent that hidden figures that are in all of us. We all do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and only 1% of us get the spotlight shown on us. So that's where the story started from. And from there, we built upon my love for golf and Marcie and Peppermint Patty, and it is what it came out being.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like when I watched that, I would have never thought that it was based, like the idea came from Hidden Figures. It's an amazing movie. And I definitely see that aspect. It's definitely a really good movie. I love that that's where the inspiration was drawn from. In this specific Peanuts film, it stands out from the typical topics discussed in the other films. So Mr. Persi, in terms of like the creative process, like what did you look at in a sense to actually like draw the story? Like I know Mr. Schultz said the idea came from Hidden Figures, but do you just like look at Marcie and see, what's her connection to develop the film? Or do you kind of look more at the message first?
I think both, because this was about a character, Marcie, who is happy staying out of the spotlight. We thought about what is a person like that going to be, and they're going to be more observant. They're maybe going to have a more vibrant fantasy life. Right. So we looked at films like Miyazaki films so that we could find those moments of stillness. So in this special, you're going to see a lot of shots where it's just like ripples on a pond or leaves just in a tree to kind of show Marcie's observational skills. And also you'll see while she's thinking about things, we go into kind of her fantasies and so that we can kind of visualize if she's feeling happy, if she's feeling scared, if she's feeling nervous.
Right. And I would have to say that was personally one of my favorite parts, seeing those, as you call them, like the still moments where it's just Marcie in a sense, and we get to really dive deep into her emotions and what she's going through in the moment.
You'll also notice moments where she stays in the shadow a lot. So you'll see like when she is uncomfortable, sometimes she's pushed into the sunlight. And that's something kind of to look out for too when you're watching the special.
Yes, definitely. I agree. It's super creative and I absolutely loved it. So in the film, Marcie's constantly looking for ways to solve problems such as the pizza shortage at her school, or just to helping Peppermint Patty with playing golf. And Peppermint Patty said that Marcie should run for class president, which Marcie was scared to do. So for both of you, we're starting off with Mr. Schultz. What are your top 3 things that make Marcie one of a kind?
Well, I think she's unique to the comic strip. When you look at all the other kids, especially growing up in the 60s, the way they interacted was totally different until my dad brought Marcie into the comic strip. Peppermint Patty had been there for like 5 years, and he felt that she needed a sidekick,
right.
Similar to Gleason and Carney and Martin and Lewis, and even Andy Taylor and Barney, so having those two work off each other was really what he was getting at in the comic strip. And Marcie allowed him to do that with her kind of unique personality and also helping Peppermint Patty, who with a D- average and everything, she needed all the help she could get.
Right. Yeah, I love that dynamic duo interaction that you see in the other Peanuts films. And what would you say are your top 3 things, Mr. Persi?
Well, I'll just say this, like one of the things I love about Marcie is, she's not just a pushover. Maybe she's quiet, maybe she's soft-spoken, but if she's pushed, she'll zing you back. And I love that about her, that it kind of makes her this more full-rounded character.
I agree. Like Marcie's definitely a favorite. Definitely even a fan favorite to other people who are fans of the Peanuts films because she's just always there, always helping. I remember even like I believe it was the Snow Days film where Peppermint Patty was trying to ice skate. She was there helping her with her dress and helping her out. So Marcie's always there. So Mr. Percy, in multiple ways, I feel like I can relate to Marcie. I tend to have great ideas and tend to want to help people, but sometimes I can be shy. And especially on a bigger scale, it's hard to do. So how are you hoping that Marcie inspires others?
I think when we were making this, that was the idea that we hope that kids would watch this and realize they don't have to be out in the spotlight if that's not where they want to be in order to make a change, that there's good things that you can do. You can volunteer in sort of group things to help out. There's lots of different ways other than just being the leader.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like personally, like I'm an ambivert, so I have a little bit of that introvert side, but also I can still like get up and speak in front of a crowd. And I love seeing that with Marcie. That's like, oh, I feel like I can connect to her. And I think that's definitely a big thing that's important with this film and how it stands out so much that you feel like you can just connect to Marcie. And that's a really good thing.
Yeah, she can do those things, but she chooses not to.
Right. And just for one last question, what message would you have to all the Marcies out there, and why should they tune in to Apple TV Plus on August 18th to watch Snoopy Presents One of a Kind Marcie?
Well, I'd say it's because 99% of us in the world are all Marcies. Most of us end up being in a job where we sit behind a desk for 8 hours a day and no one recognizes we put in all the hard work day in, day out, year after year, and somebody else gets all the accolades. But you got to hang in there. You got to show up for work, do the job, and continue on.
I think what I was saying earlier, that's like, as long as you are doing what you love, you stick to that and don't worry about being thrust out into the spotlight if that's not where you don't want to be, or if that's where you don't want to be.
Yes, I agree. Those are some great messages. Definitely, I was able to draw that from the film. Like Marcie had all them amazing ideas and she still found ways to get it done, even without being in the spotlight. So this is definitely an inspirational film. I am so glad that you guys decided to put it into production. And I cannot wait for the rest of the world to see it. I know I loved it. So thank you both for speaking with me.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much. This is great.
I had an amazing time speaking with both of you. Thank you so much, Mr. Schultz and Mr. Percy, for your time. That's all for this interview for Kids First. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our next reviews or interviews. Again, I'm Tiana S. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.